What's up, guys? Welcome back to Wylde Willow. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about jigs, and jigs are great for galvo or gantry lasers. Today we are going to be making a jig for a gantry laser, but you can also use these same techniques to make a jig for your galvo laser as well. So for me personally, I have a laser engraving business, and my goal in my laser engraving business is to get those bulk orders because that's where the money's at, okay? So with a lot of trial and error, I made a lot of mistakes when I first started making my own jigs, but I think I got it locked down, and I'm excited to share the great news with you guys because now you don't have to go through all the trouble that I went through if you're new to making jigs. So hopefully I'm able to take you guys along the way and you're able to use these techniques to make your own jigs. I prefer this size because it's easy to store. And if you guys wanted to, you could make them bigger. You could go as big as you want. You could go as small as you want. You could make a couple of them, put them next to each other. All of that would work out. But for me, I just think this is a good size for me to store, and I'll probably stick to these sizes. After we go over these jigs that I made, I want to take you guys into Lightburn and show you guys how to make a jig. The jig that I'll be making is for keychains. I have a big bulk order coming up, so I got to make a jig for it. Sorry, I'm not a good singer, but here are my magnificent jigs. This one right here is for bottle openers. This one's for golf tee holders, and this one's for koozies. All of these products that you see here, I get from Johnson Plastic Plus. I know I talk about them all the time. It's because I buy all their stuff, okay? They're the hookup. I'll be sure to link them in my description down below if you guys want to go start practicing and getting your own material. So for starters, we have our bottle opener jig. Whenever you put them in, they should pop in and it should be very secure in there. Next, we have our golf tee holder jig. So with this jig, it is 3 layers of MDF. There is negative space behind it because whenever you put your golf tee holder in, the little pockets that hold the tees need to have somewhere to go. So they go right in there, and you're able to lay the golf tee holder flush on the board. And then the little rectangles that you see in here are so that you can line up the rectangle that's in the golf tee holder with the rectangle that's on the board. They should all line up perfectly. Next, we have our Koozie Jig. This one I love the most because it just looks really cool and it's super handy and amazing. So what you do is you lift up on the hinges like this, and you are going to get your koozie and slide it on, and it should go all the way to the top line, and you want to make sure it's lined up straight. To make sure that the koozie's flush and secure on there, you might need to put your hands on both sides and shift them back and forth while you slide down to ensure that the koozie is level on both sides with the wood. We need to take a picture of our keychain that we're going to send to our computer so that we can trace it. So you're going to want to put your material on a flat surface. Because this is a white keychain, something dark in the background is going to be best for contrast whenever you go to trace it on the computer. So get your phone, and you're going to want to come over directly to the top, over the top of the keychain, and take a picture. Okay, so now that we have our picture, we can go ahead and send it to our computer, and we're going to jump into Lightburn and we're going to learn how to make a jig. So now that we have our picture pulled into Lightburn, we need to trace it. So go ahead and click it, right click, trace image, remove the image. Now you're going to want to ungroup it and steal the only thing that we're going to need, which is this. This can all get deleted. Now we are going to make a rectangle that matches the size, and then we're going to have to stretch it out. And then I'm going to make sure it lines up with this bottom. It's not going to be perfect because it is a picture we took, but we are going to make it perfect. So I want it to be touching these points at least down at the bottom. I'm not too worried about up top. All right, now you're going to hold down Control, and there'll be a little blue dot down here that's going to round your corners. So we're going to round our corners. right there's good. Now we are going to make another square. If you come to the line, it will attach itself to the line. Now we need to convert this to path, and we are going to node edit it. So we need to hover over the line right here, press I to insert, and then up here, press I to insert, another I to insert, and another one. Now we are going to drag these points over and round them all. Like that. Then we need to round, curve that line, curve this one. There. Now we're going to go ahead and break it in these points. Double click over here. Delete that. Now we need to node edit this. So hover over the area that you want to insert. Oh, we need to convert it to path first. Okay, now go to node editing, hover over the area you want to insert, press I to insert, and then B to break it. And then again up here, I, B. We're going to delete this. Let's change the color of this to green. And then we're going to hide green just so it's easier to work with our black line over here. Now we're going to duplicate it and flip it. And bring it over. If you hold down Control and Shift, it will move it over in like tiny little bits. Let's see where we're at. Move it back over. Okay. Now we're going to node edit this. I break. And then I break. Double click over here. Delete that. We're going to connect. Connect. Okay, so that is all connected. Now we can bring back this as our template. Now we are going to make let's turn this to green. Now we are going to make the circle right here. In the picture, this is off to the side a little bit, and that's okay. I mean, we're going to make it a little bit bigger just so we have wiggle room for this metal loop in our keychain. So you're going to hold down Shift and drag your circle, and it will make a perfect circle. So now that I have my circle, I want everything to be lined up straight. Yes, I'm going off of the picture we took that we traced as a template, but not all of this is straight, so we need to make it straight. So now that I have my circle, I'm going to hold down Shift while the circle is highlighted, and now I'm going to come here to my black outline I just made, and we're going to come up here and we're going to align it to center. So now I know it's center of this part of the keychain. We can bring it up, and it's a little too big, so hold down Control. We're going to make it a little smaller. And then we want to stretch it out so we can make sure that there is enough wiggle room. So we are going to convert this to path, and then we're going to node edit it. You're going to insert a node, hover over the line and press insert, insert. Now we are going to highlight these nodes and go down. I'm holding Control to stretch it out a bit. Like so. Okay, so now that we have that, and we are going to now make our inner rectangle for a template to know where to put your guys' design or image whenever you're engraving on your keychains. So we are just going to make a rectangle, and now we're going to stretch it out. I'm going to keep it on the inside of these lines just to be safe. That way you don't run into your stitching whenever you're engraving. Okay, and then I'm going to hold down Shift and highlight the outer border that we did, and I'm going to align it center just to make sure it's center. Now everything is good, so we are going to select all of the things we just did, move it over. I want to weld these together like so. So this is our first template that we're going to have for one of our boards for our jig, and then we are going to, I'm going to go run a test. I'm just going to duplicate this. Go to your laser. You don't need the middle box, delete that. Go to your laser and cut out a sample of this to make sure whenever you put your keychain in, the sizing is correct. Okay, so I cut 2 tests out. The first test did not fit the keychain, so I did have to go back into Lightburn and make it a little bit longer and wider. So then I did a second test, and it fits perfectly in there, as you can see. And something to be mindful about, I have a bunch of different keychains that are the same rectangle shape. They look the same almost, but some of them are a little bit different. So if you have other keychains lying around that are the same shape and same style, be sure to put it in your test and make sure all of them fit, because it doesn't hurt to make it just a little bit bigger if you have to. If you have all of the same keychains, I would still maybe grab like 10 of them and put them in and make sure all 10 fit. All right, so this is the jig that we are going to be making today. And this is it broken down. We have 2 layers here. This is the size that I prefer. It's 15.5 by 35. But I do have smaller jigs that I have done up that I will be posting on my Etsy here soon, along with my other jigs that I showed you guys earlier. They will all be up on my Etsy. So for the first layer here, this is the base layer. I don't see a lot of people use a base layer, but I really like using a base layer because, one, I can number the material that's going in, and I know how many's going in there. And I also just like having support behind my material so they don't pop out. So that's going to be our first layer. We're going to engrave on that, cut out the border. And then over here, so here's our keychain. It's all ready to go. It's perfect. The way I got them all to fill out onto my board is by using my array. And then I just engrave on the top what the jig is and the count. And then down here, something that's really important is the center to center spacing. I like to use even numbers or just whole numbers, nothing with decimals, because it just makes it easier. And then up here, I also have my little boxes with my X's in them, because those are going to be the points that we go to whenever we want to use our set laser position. You'll go and click on these points to make sure your board's completely lined up straight. Okay, so over here is our template. This is the digital file that you would use whenever you're bringing in your designs to get ready to engrave. So for example, let's pull my logo in here. We want to get it centered to this box first, so that's highlighted. You're going to hold down Shift and highlight your inner tool layer there and hit center. And then usually on my keychains I do them sideways. Hold down Control and drag, and you'll get it to resize from the center point. Okay, so that looks good. So we're going to highlight our W And now I'm going to show you guys this really cool feature using your center to center position. So you're going to go over here to your array, and we want to have distant from center to center on both of these clicked. And we know that, and you want to be in millimeters too, because that's what I'm working with is millimeters. So I do know that my center to center for the x-axis is going to be 42. And then over here, my y-axis is 102. We have 8 rows on top on our x-axis. And we also have 8 on our y-axis. Oh, we have 9. Okay, so all of these are now center to your tool layer. Everything is the same. And that is a great feature to use whenever you're working with your jigs. You save so much time using your center to center distance. So with the center to center spacing, I applied that method to each one of my layers here. Okay, so for starters, we have our first layer. We are going to go cut that out, engrave our numbers on it, and then we are going to do the same thing for our second layer, and then we use our template to engrave our design on our keychains. Okay, so we have our jig all cut out. Before we glue this bad boy together, I do want to mention that a lot of people, YouTube channels that I've watched in the past that make jigs, they do use this method a lot where they don't have a backboard, and that's totally fine. It will work, but for me personally, I like to have the backboard because it makes it super easy to load and unload out of my laser, because I don't really want things falling through. Because once I got it out, I want to get it back in real quick. So what we're going to be using today to glue this together is just some old-fashioned wood glue. All right? And if you want to speed up the process and you're impatient today, I'm going with the flow. Okay? I'm not trying to rush anything. So I'm just going to use wood glue. But if you're trying to speed up the process and you want to use this right away, use CA glue. Only takes a couple dots around the border. Just mix it in there a little bit, and it will secure the board together a lot faster. All right, so our jig is done, and we are going to throw it in the laser, and I'm going to show you guys how to line everything up. All right, so now that we have our project in the laser bed, before we line everything up, you want to make sure that you come over here to start from. You want to do absolute coordinates. When you're lining everything up, you have to be in absolute coordinates. Now that we have that set, we can go ahead and send the project over. All right, now that our project has been sent over to the laser, we're going to come over here to set laser position, click on it, and then come to one of your targets and hit the center. Now we're going to come over here to the opposite side and line up this target, and then we should be good to go. Once you get all your targets lined up, then you can go ahead and start using your center to center spacing and putting in your images or your text into your product that you want engraved. All right, everything is lined up perfectly and it's ready to go. If you guys are working with bulk order items, make a jig. You're going to save so much time. And hopefully with the things that I went over with you guys today, you can apply it to whatever material you're using and you can make your own custom jigs. I did not go into light burn as much as I wanted to because I feel like my light burn videos bore a lot of people. But if you guys are interested in how I made this, like step by step, put it in the comments. I'll send you the info that I have. But if you are also feeling a little lazy and you don't want to create your own custom jig, I am going to have all the jigs that I've made so far up on my Etsy. You guys can go check it out. I'll leave it in the description. But all of my jigs might not be up right when I post this video. I'm still working on getting the rest uploaded, but it is a work in progress. It's going to be up soon. If you guys do purchase those jigs, it means the world to me that you guys are supporting me and my channel and my designs. It's amazing. So I really hope today I was able to give some good, useful information. If you guys have any questions at all, please put them in the comments down below. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.